My name's Richard Hearne. I'm a senior software developer for Deep Secure Limited. Deep Secure produce security software. What I particularly do is write the software that ends up being the Deep Secure products. Predominantly it's written in C++, which is a fairly low-level programming language. My specialisation, being a software developer or senior software developer, we have a specialisation. Mine is in the user interfaces, so any product that we do produce that needs to be configured or installed, that is my area of expertise, although I do work with the business and service logic of our products as well. Products, we have we have a secure email offering which enables you to send emails securely between two peers. It will encrypt the email between two people, so anyone sitting in the middle that might want to sniff your network or just general mail servers out there won't actually be able to see the content of your messages. We also do content checking of the messages, so you can look for banned phrases in those emails. You can check to see who it's going to, apply different policies to who it actually gets sent to. So I might trust those people internal to my organisation and not do many checks at all. But for those that are going to someone else, I might want to make sure that there aren't any special words in there, or maybe I don't even allow Word documents to go out, maybe I only allow pure text emails. We've also got a new suite of products which are based on something called transshipment, which is a new idea, which basically keeps the security model a bit simple. At the moment there's so many data types out there that or ways that you can exchange data. There's lots of flaws in software out there that are called zero-day attacks, that you can't all software has flaws and you can't ever produce a piece of software that's infallible. So what we do is we take those known document types and transform them into something a lot simpler. So if you sent me a Word document, I would read the Word document, extract the text out of it and transship it into some text, into say a text document, and then that would then get checked in one of our guards for words and maybe the sort of general shape of it as well, that you were happy with it, and then it could then end up as a Word document again and get sent through the guard. So that's transshipment. Software industry for me was a new thing when I was at school. It was a case I had a general interest in computing in general. There were new courses out there for A-levels, so I embarked on those and then decided that I would like a job in the field, but it made sense to go to university and get a degree, so I searched for a degree that would give me the best chance of attaining that, and I studied computer science, which gave me a good sort of introduction into lots of the computing concepts. Nothing specific, and a lot of it was sort of knowing that I wanted to be a software developer at the end. So I self-taught myself really, but because you've got the badge, the university badge that says that you can learn, then when I did come out of university I was able to apply for jobs with the degree, and then that gave me a foot in the door, and then I could sell myself and say this is what I've self-taught really, and this is what I can offer you. Academic background, even more these days, is paramount. I think the the experience side of things comes into things a little bit more these days. If you can get some experience, even if you work for free, that's what people are looking for when they're going to recruit a university graduate now. Not only someone that says they've got the skills and got a badge, but can maybe demonstrate it a little bit as well and have some independent people that can verify that. It's varied. Every day is different. There's a lot of problem solving. Nothing's ever straightforward. And the type of things that we do, being in user interfaces, I can be very creative in what I do, because in effect what I design ends up on the customer's site. So, and it's also rewarding in that way to see what you've produced being used on a day-to-day basis. One day I might be writing not necessarily something in the user interface side of things, but to do with networking. The next day it might be to write some parser that inspects some data formats or some structures, and the following afternoon it might be to write an installer for one of our user interfaces. So it's you never know what you're gonna do. When I get in the morning, I always check the email, any urgent PSO calls that are asking for immediate feedback. Then traditionally I'll check my active bug list. So we have a bug tracking and feature tracking software that says this is what you've got to do in the next month. Obviously then you can prioritize what you're going to work on that day. You might get an interrupt from your manager that says I need you to work on this, but generally it's self-management because of the level that I'm at. And then I'll go into my sort of daily routine. Really, it might be writing a document, again another varied thing, writing some user documentation, replying to an email from PSO, help liaising with the test engineers. Some software I've produced might not be working, or it might be working but badly configured, or sometimes you might spend half a day working with the test engineers trying to replicate a problem that they've got over several machines, and you haven't seen it before because you've only done it on a single machine. So all these things, and you also learn about different operating systems. We're on Linux and Unix now, but I was brought up on the Windows side of things. But our software is multi-platform, so it works on Solaris, works on Linux, and it works on Windows. We have our own operating system actually as well, which is a distribution of the Linux. It's built on top of a Linux kernel, but it's very, very cut down, and that enables us to put our software on there without any baggage. And we've got a lot of control of what happens on that machine then. And we can tighten it up with IP tables, which is the firewall, so we only talk to who we want to talk to. I don't think there's any negatives really. I think the only negative is there's so much to do that we never have enough time to maybe implement everything that you'd like to do. I think a good mathematical background, strong sort of logic skills, because a lot of it is logic. It depends what side of the software engineering you actually go for. I mean, you can just go into the analysis and the requirements side, but going into my side of things, the attributes, scientific, you want to probably have a science, willingness really to learn and be proactive, and because at the end of the day, you need to, everything that I've learnt has been motivational for me. You know, I've had an interest in it and I've researched it. No one taught me C++ specifically, although there was a course at university, but I took that and built on it. And then obviously when you start a company, they don't expect you to know everything, but they expect you to have a very good understanding, and then you can build that by the project-based stuff that you work on. I would definitely recommend this as a career. As I said, every day is different. It's very rewarding for me because of the user interface side of things. I get a lot of my products, or our products, get a lot of exposure on the customer side of things, so you get a lot of feedback, and there's always a new problem to solve.